Okay, so kindly start the cover, uncover and alternate cover tests. All the cover tests. How will you proceed?
अस्सलामुअलैकुम, मेरा नाम डॉक्टर आमना है। मैं आपका मुआयना करूँगी। थोड़ी सी लेग पे आपकी जाएगी, लेकिन आपको दर्द नहीं होगी। अगर आपको कोई दर्द हो तो आप मुझे बता सकते हैं, फिर हम मुआयना रोक देंगे। ठीक है, इजाज़त है? सर, his right eye is ptotic, but
actually, in case of minors, you have to take permission from the adult and attendant. See, less than 16 or 17 or 18 years of age cannot give the consent. So preferably you should ask the parents. Okay, go ahead.
I can see the compensating posture. He turns his face leftwards. I'm correcting his head posture. सीधे देखो, राइट में देखें सर, मैनुअली लिफ्ट कर लो.
You will have to.
Yes.
You can't see the eyeball without lifting the lid.
Sir, on Hashpa examination, the right eye is hypotropic, about 15 degrees. Now I'm going to cover the normal fixating eye. But एक तरफ आपने देखते हैं, sir, I will need the help of somebody to
Okay,
keep the eye.
can you help her? Just lift the lid so that she can perform the other functions. So the task given to you is to perform cover, uncover, alternate cover tests.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, now I'm going to cover the.
You have the occluder?
Yes, sir. So I'm going to cover the fixating eye. Right में देखिए बेटा. The eye takes a fixation moving upwards, indicating right hypertropia. बेटा लाइट में देखते रहिए. Now I'm going to remove the cover, and the other eye immediately takes up the fixation. Now I'm going to alternate this. I'm going to cover this eye. Now on removing the cover, it remains in the hypotropic position. Now I'm going to perform the alternate cover and cover test. Right here.
So the important points are so far that for far fixation you give a specific target. Look at the AC, look at the bulb, look at the Snellen chart at a 6-meter distance. For near fixation you give a accommodative target, a small shape which has details so that the patient focuses and fixates on the target. You see, the torch light is not a good focus. It is required for Hirschberg, so an assistant or a helper can shine the torch आपके shoulder on over your shoulder, but you have to have a fixating an accommodative target. Okay, go ahead again. So how will you perform cover test and uncover test? Next time you should have an accommodative target.
Okay,
See, accommodative target is miniature Snellen chart or small photograph of a rabbit, of an animal which has details. The patient can see and appreciate and fixates and focuses on that small photograph. Okay, so you lift the lid so that whenever the lid eyeball is covered, you have to lift the lid to uncover the eyeball and to see the position and its movement. And when the patient looks down, you have to lift the lid up so that you can appreciate the position of the eyeball. Okay, so the patient looking in the primary position. What is primary position? The primary position is with the head erect and the patient looking straight forward is the primary position. So keep the lid up and you shine the torch and see what is the ocular position. थोड़ी सी torch पीछे रखें so that आंखें तो खोलें ना, थोड़ी और दूर कर लें. Okay. So what is the position of the eyeballs on Hirschberg? What are the findings?
So on Hirschberg examination, the right eye is hypotropic by 15 degrees as the reflection is.
So the right eye is apparently deviating. In the cover test, what would be your first step?
Sir, I will like to cover the other eye.
Okay, so you cover the fixing eye and you see the movement of the deviating eye. That is the cover test. The patient has to be cooperative. Patient hai? Okay. So this is a miniature Snellen chart which can be used for near fixation. Okay, so go ahead.
अस्सलामुअलैकुम, मेरा नाम डॉक्टर आमना है. आपकी आंखों का मुआयना करूँगी. इस दौरान आपकी आंखों में की रोशनी जाएगी, लेकिन इससे आपको कोई तकलीफ नहीं होगी. अगर भी आपको जहमत हो तो आप बता सकते हैं, हम मुआयना रूम करेंगे. ठीक है, आपने सीधा देखना है. So on Hirschberg examination, the left eye is deviated outwards by about 15 degrees, 20 degrees. Now I'm going to cover the fixating eye. आपको ये नजर आ रहा है? ठीक है, ये देखते रहिएगा, ये देखते रहिएगा, आप इस पे देखते रहना. ठीक है,
आपको ABC आती है? ओके, रीड पढ़े. ये क्या लिखा हुआ है इसके ऊपर? Unless the patient identifies the object and focuses and fixates, how can you expect the fixation to be maintained? You don't have to ask, look at this. You have to ask what are the details. Read this so that you ensure the fixation. And do the test while he is fixating. And tell the finding.
On covering the other eye, I did not take the fixation. So,
which eye was deviating?
So this.
The left eye. So you have covered the right fixating eye. And the left eye has taken up the fixation or not?
Sir, partially, not fully.
Okay, so you can ask the patient to read again. So the VN is less. So unless there is foveal fixation, you cannot perform the cover uncover and alternate cover test. Right. देखो और कुछ.
Hirschberg examination the light flex on both eyes is central. Now I am going to cover one of the eye after giving the target. ये आपको पढ़िए. I am going to cover one of the eye.
So if you want an assistance, you can hold the target or you can show the light. It is not possible for her to manipulate all the targets. So you, आप इधर आ जाओ. Don't इधर आ जाओ. इधर आ जाओ. You hold the target. ये target पकड़ ले. Patient को दे सकते हैं. So you can give it to the patient and you can show the light. आप perform करें. You perform the cover and cover test. Dots पीछे कर ले. ताकि eye की movement न. So you can appreciate the eye movement. पीछे कर ले और. So you can just have to have sufficient light so that you can see the eye movements. So you are covering the fixating eye.
Yes, sir.
And looking at the deviating eye.
This is the cover test.
So what do you expect?
So I expect the other eye to take a fixation. But
So the deviating eye will move to take up the fixation, and this movement will tell you that the eye was deviated, and there is manifest squint. So you have to identify the movement. Now in the movement you see three components. One, the speed of recovery, how quickly the deviating eye comes state to take up the fixation, and secondly, is the recovery complete, and what was the third element I told you yesterday? The speed of recovery, the extent of recovery, and the direction. So if the eye comes from out inward, it is divergent squint, and if the recovery is fast, it means the eye is having good vision, and if the recovery is complete, it means the foveal fixation is there. Okay, so you have performed the cover eye on one eye. Now what will you do?
Sir, I have performed the cover test on the other eye.
Okay.
Now I'm going to cover the other eye and see the right eye taking fixation. And it takes fixation.
So on covering one eye, you see the movement of the uncovered eye, whether the uncovered eye moves to take up the fixation or not.
Yes.
That will tell you whether the manifest deviation is there or not.
Yes.
So this is cover test.
Cover test.
Now what is uncover test?
So now I'm going to perform the uncover test.
Okay.
This is when the cover is removed. I see the same eye, whether it takes up the fixation or not.
Okay.
Now for example, I'm covering the right eye. Now I'm going to see the right eye after I've removed the cover.
Okay, so when you uncover the eye,
yes,
you see whether the eye moves to take up the fixation or not.
Yes,
If the eye deviates under cover, it means there is latent manifestation. When the fuel was broken by covering one eye,
yes,
then the eye did not remain straight, it deviated.
yes,
And when you uncovered the eye, it stayed.
yes,
So, looking at the uncovered eye, when the eye is uncovered, if there is movement, it gives you a hint of latent manifestation, latent deviation or foveal. Okay. So how will you perform alternate cover test?
So, in alternate cover test, we keep the two eyes dissociated to see the extent of the deviation. So I'll after covering one eye for 2 to 3 seconds, I gradually move the cover to the other eye so that the dissociation remains broken. And same is repeated.
And it gives you a measure of
Total deviation.
total deviation, manifest plus latent. When you move the cover from one eye to the other eye, the eye under cover, which is uncovered, takes up the fixation, and you see the total deviation. Okay. So now you switch the seats. You perform the cover, uncover, and alternate cover test.
So I'm performing cover test with the right eye. First of all, the Hirschberg test is central, as the reflex is centered in both eyes. So I want to do it with glasses, without glasses, for near and distance. Since the patient is wearing glasses, I'll do it with glasses. On covering the right eye, there is no movement in the left eye, so I'll do the uncover test also. I'd also like to do the cover and cover of the other eye. Now I'd like to do the alternate cover and cover test.
Alternate cover and cover test. Okay. So you cover one eye for 2-3 seconds so that the fuel is broken. If you do it very spontaneously, there will not be time for the eye to take up the fixation. So you want one eye to take up the fixation and the other eye to be independent under cover, and then you shift the cover. You cover the eye for 2 or 3 seconds. for 2-3 seconds you cover one eye and then shift the cover to the other eye for 2-3 seconds, and you see the movement, and the movement will tell you the total deviation. Okay, so this is cover, uncover and alternate cover test. Now is the prism cover test. How will you perform this with prism bar?
So prism test कभी cardinal positions में भी cover जरूरी है जब हमें कोई exam.
There is so ocular movements is a separate heading. So you test to cover the muscle balance in all the positions. Now we are doing it in the primary position. Okay. So how will you perform the prism cover test?
First of all, the prism is held in the direction apex towards the direction of deviation.
Okay. So there are two prism bars.
Yes.
This is vertical prism bar
Yes.
you are holding.
Yes.
So normally we have horizontal deviation. So you require a horizontal prism bar. Okay. In most of the cases, 90% there is horizontal. Okay, so where is the apex of the prism?
This is the apex, sir. This is the
Okay.
base.
So if the patient has divergent squint,
Yes, sir.
how will you keep the prism bar?
So base in.
Okay. So the apex of the prism will be outwards. So you place it in front of the one of the eyes. So in divergent squint, you are placing the prism
Apex, sir. So I
with apex out and base in.
So I place the prism and then I perform the alternate cover test.
Okay, good.
Then I move towards higher prism bars and I keep on moving until I see no movement or reversal of movement.
Good. So you do alternate cover test and you keep the prism bar gradually increasing the power of the prism until the time comes when there is no movement of the. That gives you measure of the total deviation. Now, from where to start on the prism bar? The prism bars have numbers from 1 to 40.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, what? From where will you start?
So the Hirschberg will give me a rough estimate.
Good. So, if there is a deviation of, let's say, 15 degree or 30 prism diopter, you will start from 20 prism diopter.
Yes.
And you will go to 30 or 35 prism. So, Hirschberg is necessary to give you approximate extent of the deviation. Now, you have to move, you have to do all these steps in a quick way for near and for far, with glasses and without glasses. And if there is a deviation, we have to do all these steps in all the directions of gaze, so that we know if the deviation increases or decreases in any direction of gaze. Right? So next time we will do it on the patient.